Good. So let's talk about testing today. So yesterday we downloaded a Selenium library and we tried to run some...
We are on the screen of Lupo.
Still?
Yes.
Why? Stop sharing.
No, it's okay.
I didn't... Which screen do you see, guys? It's
Video.
my screen. Okay, good. Okay, so again. Okay, so guys, let's talk about testing. So Java has a special testing libraries. One of them is TestNG. So first, today we will download TestNG. So how to download a library in Java? Okay, again, I will type TestNG, ng, and Maven. So this will open me number of links, and here is the library. I don't will download for now TestNG version 7. We will download like for version 6, the latest one, and we'll copy it to clipboard. Next step, as usual, like as I did yesterday, I will go to my POM.xml file in the dependencies next to like Selenium. I will paste a dependency for the TestNG. Now I need update my project. So right click on POM.xml file and go to the Maven and reload project. So this will allow to download all TestNG libraries. Now guys, I will push the code. I will commit and push, and you can fetch it and update your project. So you will have the same dependency in, you can merge now from master and you will have the same TestNG library. Okay, I believe you're good. So guys, here is in the project in the left side, we used to work in the main. We used to work in the main folder. From today, we will work in the test folder. Okay, so idea guys, actually as I told you before, a lot of stuff not done for the quality assurance engineers. It was done for developers, but quality assurance QA engineers just using it. So TestNG is a testing library, but primarily it was done for the unit testing, and QA engineers just using it for their tests. And usually in any project we have main and test folders. In the main folders we will have all sources, but in the test folder we have tests. So here is guys, I have test and I have a green Java folder. And let's create my first test or unit test. But let me create it in the package. I will create a new package and we'll call it unit test. And let's talk about testing. Okay, here is, I will create a new file and let me call it like ticket test. Okay, good. So guys, do remember our program which calculated a ticket price depends on the age of the passenger. If it's kind of less than 2 years, it's a free ticket. If like between 2 and 12, like it's a child ticket, 50%. If more than 12 but less than 66, I believe, it's kinda adult ticket. And less than and more than, it will be okay. If you don't have test, Anna, let me do like that. I will commit and push again, and you can fetch, and I believe you should see the test. Okay, git commit, and I will push one more time, and you should have test now. Fetch, please merge from master, and you will have a test. But guys, please double check that this Java is in green color. It's very important. It should be in green. If you have problems now and it's not in green color, let me know. Okay, Daniela, let share your screen. Okay, I need to stop sharing my screen first. Okay, now I see your screen. So here is, okay, so let's go. I will place it. Okay, so go to the, no, go to the project, to the file, in the file menu, I mean, in the, on the top menu, file. One sec. I see you different screen. I need IntelliJ IDEA, please. Yes. Good. Now go to the file menu. Go to the project structure. No, project, no. Project structure, yes. Click on it. And okay, go modules. Next. Okay, over here, I don't see that. I don't see test folder at you. Here is like. Can you open? Okay, click on the test, green test. No. Cancel, click cancel. Actually, okay. Click on the Java folder one more time. On the, no. In the test Java, I mean. Test Java, click and go to the project. Go to the file project, file menu, no. Go to the file menu, project, structure. Yes. And here is, okay, VC test, open it. Click on Java folder. Good. Now go and mark it by green color on the top. Yeah, click. Yes, click. Good. Okay. Now you're good. Apply and okay. Now it's in green. Guys, who also has problems, let me know.
Can you check my screen?
Yeah, share your screen.
Sure.
Anna, after that we will go to you. Rahil, I asked you, okay, the problem. I will explain you the problem.
Please.
First of all, first problem. You have two same dependents. You have a TestNG 2 times. Do you see? This is the first problem. Remove one of that. No, it's okay. Second problem, Rahil Han. Delete, don't wait.
Yeah, I'm deleting.
Okay, so good. Second problem, the dependency should be inside dependency yes. One more time. Do you see on the line 30 dependency yes, plural? So this dependency should be inside it. You place it outside.
Okay, so what I do then,
I just advise it you. Yes, click it here, paste it.
good now?
Now you need to reload your project. But I would advise you to download from Git because you will have a merge conflict later on. But okay.
Okay, so what do you recommend we do next?
You now need to update your project. Right click on your POM.xml file. Go to the Maven. Go to the Maven. Go down. Go down to the Maven, and here is reload project. Okay, good. Anna, you have problem? Anna, who have two test folders? Can you share your screen, Anna?
Okay, so last thing, Jean, how are you able to see the test folder? It was showing the test.
One more time. Please close this blue Java folder because I don't see to the bottom. Yes, close. I ask it fetch you from Git now and you will get it. No, fetch. And now you need to merge from master. And you see test folder. Do you see?
Yeah.
Good. Open it, please. Rahil, open your test folder, please. Open test folder.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, click on Java folder. Go to the file menu. Project structure. And here is in the modules. Go to the modules and find these test, open these test folders. No, please don't open it. Open it. Click on Java and mark it as a test.
This one?
Yes.
Apply and
Okay, apply and OK. Guys, any other have any problems, let me know. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, so my question is if I can have two test folders.
I don't think so.
Even if they have different names?
Please don't mess up. Make it one because in other case you will have problems. Just make one green test Java. That's all we need for today. Don't do multiple or whatever. Okay, so guys. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Guys, any questions? Everything are good? Okay, let's move forward. Let's talk about unit testing. What is unit testing and why unit testing is done by developers, not by QA engineers? Okay, so let me create a class which will have a method which calculating a ticket price. So let me go back to the main and I will create a new.
Can you share the screen, please?
Sure, thanks. Okay. So let me go back to the main folder and I will create a new package and I will call it tickets. And here is in this tickets folder, I will create a new class like tickets. Okay. And here is in the tickets, it's just regular class. It will have two values. For example, it will have a base fare like private double base fare or base price or whatever, like base ticket price for adult, and private double int age. Okay, good. So I will create a constructor for this class and I will create a method get price. So this method will return a price. So double public double get price. So this guy will return a price depends on passenger age. So if the age or this age less than 2, less or equal, I will return 0. If age less or equal than 12, for example, I will return base fare multiple 0.5. Legit. So if age more than 65, I will return okay, if I have only one line, I don't need curly braces, so I will return base fare multiple 0.8, 80%, 20% discount, and in all other case I will return base fare. Now, this is a function we like learned when we learned like all this if else statement. So this is a get price. Now we need to test this get price function. So let's go to our testing class and let me split my screen vertically and you will see both. Here is my function and here is my testing class. So guys, I need to test these. What I can test here first of all. So actually guys, listen carefully. Unit tests are testing only methods. Unit tests are testing methods in the class. So TestNG is a library which allows us organize tests. Okay, let's do that. So first we need to create a test. In order to do that, I will write something like that. Test. And this is @ symbol is annotation. And here is, you see, guys, test, And be careful, please, org TestNG annotation. Some of you can see org JUnit annotation. This is different. You need to choose, because by default usually people using JUnit, but JUnit is kind of little bit old library. It's actually not big difference. Many companies working still on the JUnit, but there are no big difference. If we will have enough time, I will show you both difference between JUnit and TestNG, and there are no big difference at all. So here is, be sure that you have org TestNG annotations. And you see I have org TestNG annotation import test. So here is, I'm writing a public void method. So public void, and here is, I need to place a name of the test, and here is, it's very important, and the naming is very important. So first of all, usually we placing here the name of the class. So I'm testing a ticket. So let's place here is ticket. Now second, a condition. On which condition I will test. For example, I will test for the infant. Age infant. And here is infant. And here is what I expecting. Price is 0. So guys, name conventions could be different. In different like companies, there are many different name conventions. This is one of name conventions. So the class we're testing, underscore condition we're testing, underscore what we're expecting. So let's test. Every test has 3 parts. 3A is, first part is arrange. Second part is act. Third part is assert. If you remember Gherkin, it will be like given, when, and after that, then. Actually, it's about the same. Okay, so first is arrange. Arrange is kinda preconditions. Preconditions is next. We should create an instance of the class ticket. So ticket infant is a new ticket, and here is, I will first as a base price of the ticket $1,000 for example, and age, for example, 1 year. This is my initial arrangements. Next, act. I should do a test, actual test. So I do like double price is equal to infant dot get price. So guys, the age is 1. So if age will be 1, I assume that it will return 0. You see, if age less than 2, it should return 0. So here is I placing an assert. Assert equals like 0 and price. So I am asserting that price is equal to 0. Let's run this test. So test not pass it. You see, guys? Why? Because expected 0.0 but actual 0. Because it's kind of two different guys. I should write 0.0. This is more correct because returning value is a double. And kind of double 0 is not equal to integer 0. Okay, it's okay. So let me run my test one more time. And kinda, you see, in the left side, test is passed. So this green check mark is done by TestNG library. This is test word is done by TestNG library. This assertion is made by TestNG library. So guys, idea in the test. We don't need main function. We don't need anything. We just making a separate method, marking it as a text. We don't need to create class or whatever. This is an isolated test. And this is done by TestNG. TestNG giving us infrastructure to create tests. So we can use isolated test. So this is a first unit test. Unit tests are very simple. Unit test testing functions. And here is, I made a 3 parts in the unit test. I do a precondition, I do some initial arrangements. After that, I do an act. I do an actual action which I need to test. And after that, I do assertion. I asserting that I have expected result. Okay, let's go and do next test. Next, we need to check a child price for the child passenger. Okay, test. Private. Oh no, private, sorry, public. Public void. And here is a second test. Ticket. And let me call it age child. And I have a third part. Price is 50%. Price is 50%. Okay, this is name of my test. And now let me write it. So first, again, is an arrange. I do initial arrangements. And here is I will have something like ticket child is a new ticket. And here is I should provide like base fare is $1,000 and age like 5 years is a child. Okay, legit. Next is act. I running my method which I testing act because I'm running method now. So I do like double price is equal to child dot get price. So this method will run this method in my function, and I assume that since I passed a 5 year, I will have price half price. So asserting it's, as I told you, we have expected result in our test case, and I expect that my price will be $500 here. And my actual result, which will be in the price variable. And I should compare that my expected result, 500, and my actual result, which I will get in the price variable, are the same. So here is I do something like assert. assert. You see this assert coming from org TestNG. Assert equals, and here is I passing my expected result. I expect that it will be 500.0 and price. Okay, let's run my test. And you see, test is passed. Ticket age child, price 50% I expecting. Guys, test is passed and I receiving this green mark when my assert running. Assert is very simple. It is comparing expected and actual. And you know, in the test case, I told you yesterday and day before yesterday that all tests is about comparing expected result and actual result. And our assert is comparing. Okay, let's talk about stages in the test. Guys, are you sure that my test is working? Are you sure? I'm not. So I need to make my test fail. So I will expect that 600, not 500, 600. So here is I assume my test must fail. Let me run it. And you see test is failed. You see here is not green mark but a stop sign. And here is, take a look, read please carefully. Assert error. Expected 500 but found 600. Actually I need to change. First it will be like that. This is more correct. First is and second is expected. So let me run one more time to get, and here is I should change the price, and because first is actual and second is expected. Okay, so expected 600 but actual is 500. So guys, my test is failed. Now I know that my test is work correct, because sometimes you can do something like bullshit assert, which kinda all time will show you it kinda passing. Actual, this kind of assert not working, but you will see, oh, it's asserting, but actually it's not checking anything. That's why we need a red stage in the testing. So I made my test fail. And now I see that my assert is working because I see a broken test. Now I changing back to the green stage. I changing this to 500 and running my test again. So my test is passed. And I'm sure that my test is working. So if this method will return, like, for example, I have a problem and now it's returning not 0.5 but 0.6, for example, or 0.7. Now it's calculating wrong. And when I'm running this test, I see it's broken. Oh, I expecting 500, but it's returning 700. So my function working wrong because price is 50%. I expecting it will be 50%, but it is not. So my test catch a bug. Some developers change it from 5.6 to 5.7, from 0.5 to 0.7, and it returns a wrong result. So okay, this method not passed test. And oh, I made an error, I changed it, so I need to return this. And now test will be passed. Any questions so far, guys? Did you get an idea regarding expected and actual? I believe you know that, but assert is helping. So guys, we have two more test cases. which we need to run this test. We need to run this test for adults, and we need to run this test for the senior passengers. We have 2 more test cases. So guys, in order to test one method, I write 4 unit tests because I need to run this test in 4 different conditions. Okay, let's run one more test. Test, and here it will be public void a ticket age adult, and what adult, sorry, and what I expecting full price. And again, arrange. I am arranging, do initial arranging. I creating an object ticket. Is equal to new ticket, and here is I passing 2 values. It's $1,000, still $1,000, but the age like 25 years. Good, legit. Now next is act. I running my method. I do test now. Now what I do is a test. I running the method which I want to test. So I do like double price is equal to adult dot get price, and now is assertion. I must assert that that price is equal to $1,000. Let's run my test. And it's kinda green, but I need to run through the red stage. So red stage, I'm placing 10,000, and I expect my test will fail now. So I see that it returns 1,000, but I am expecting 10,000. So test is working, and I'm going back to the green stage. And now also guys, I can run all 3 tests together by clicking this button, and you see all 3 tests kinda pass it. And now I need to write my last unit test. Running a last unit test is a test for the senior passengers. What I expect? I expecting it will be price is okay, I expecting that it will be 80%. And again, arrange. And in the arranging, I do a ticket senior new ticket, and base fare $1,000. I can change 1,000 to 2,000, whatever, it doesn't matter. And here is age 70 years. It will be a senior. Good. So next I running the function I want to test, the method I want to test. So double price is equal to senior dot get price, and assert. What I'm asserting that my price is my actual result is equal to 808. I want a red stage. You see 808. So I assume test should fail, but I see the difference. Okay, good, test is failed. Here it is. 3 tests passed, 1 is failed. And here it is 808, 800. So I can switch it to the green face back. Good. Now all 4 tests will pass. Good. And I will run everything. And I will run all tests together. And all 4 unit tests are passed. So guys, unit tests are not hard. Unit tests are testing methods in the functions. The main thing about the testing. Yes. So I will give you example, guys. I worked on the new project and we started from scratch. And after 8 months, I had like 200 API tests. But my developers had 6,000 unit tests. So unit tests are kind of testing very simple things. They testing only one method in isolate. Of course, this is not all unit testing, because sometimes and very often you need to do stuff like mocking and stabbing. But this is not our scope. It's scope if you will learn to be a developer. Stuff like dependency injection you need to learn in order to correctly make a unit test. But I just giving you idea behind unit testing. Unit testing are testing methods. We testing methods in the classes. And here is I show you how how write test is written. So it's a discrete function which starting with the test annotation. And this is just a function, and we can run it without anything like main or whatever. We just running this small part of the code. And we can use assert, which kind of asserting result. Let me run. And it's working. Now, questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
So when you're working, this is more like in your workforce kind of thing. So when you're working as an automation engineer or SDEV, are you doing more unit tests, or are you doing just running the whole automation and that's good enough?
Look, unit tests are written by developers, not always. Okay. Unit tests done by developers, not by QA engineers. Okay? So who writing code, writing unit tests for this code?
Makes sense, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
I also have a question.
Yes.
So this red stage, is it like a routine you should go through when you to double check that you actually the test case that you writing is working properly?
Yes, exactly. So sometimes we can do for example, let me do a test test which I will show you the wrong test. Don't watch on naming, it's kinda, it doesn't matter. So let's check price ticket again, ticket adult is a new ticket. And here is I will provide a base price and age 25 years. Okay, legit. Now I do some double double price is equal to adult get price. And I do a wrong assert. I do something like assert, assert equals something like 1000 equal to 1000. Like kinda this assert always will be correct because I do like true is true. Yes, it's true. But if like my function working not correct, like return base fair multiple like 10, and if I will run this test, it will pass. But correct test will fail because now our method is working wrong and my correct test catched the bug. But incorrect test is happy, all time is happy because it's testing like different, it's asserting different stuff. It's asserting that 1000 is 1000, or like it can assert that 100 is 100. It always returns true. But in real life, our correct test catching a bug. Okay? Because now our method calculating wrong. This is kind of idea. That's why we need a red face, because we want to be sure that our test is working. Okay, questions? Any questions, guys? Guys, no questions? Okay, let's go forward. I believe everybody get idea about unit testing. It's not very hard, but sometimes it could be hard when it's involving mocking, stubbing, but this is not for us. Okay, 1 second. And we will go next. Okay, next question. Let's back to our yesterday example and let's run. Of course, I did something like yesterday, not very good, Selenium first step. Now you understand that we can rewrite this test in more correct way. Now we can implement asserts but not use this stuff. So let's do yesterday test in a new way. So let me create a new package and I will call it Selenium first step here. And here is I will create this is a Udemy test, yes? So let me create a Udemy test file. Good. And let me move it to this side. So I want to rewrite yesterday test to new way. And first of all, I need to write a test. Yes. So here is in the test public void, and let me call it Udemy, and here is underscore what I sending. I searching Java, and what I have 10,000 results. And this is my test. So here is, guys. First, let's do some stuff, and here is this stuff. First, I creating here is a WebDriver. So let me copy this part Okay, I will copy it, Ctrl V. Creating and opening, it's kind of preconditions or arranges. Okay, let me like even do arrange. Next is acting. I do a test. And here is in the testing I do this test. I clicking the and searching for Java. This is arrange. Next part is a sort. So in the sort part, I getting a result. What the result I getting paste here is. Okay, I searching for this word. Yes. And I do a sort. Sort equals that my first is the text is my actual result, and second my expected result. So this is my test, and in the end I need to just close. I want to copy, not move. Okay, so guys, this is a test. Let me run this test. So it's do exact the same stuff like yesterday, but now we implemented assert, and assert will save us a lot of time. I don't need if else and all this stuff around. By the way, assert also throwing exception is a assert exception, which kind of giving this circle with the cross inside. Okay, let me run this test. Okay. Java, and I searching that explore Java courses. I believe we have it, and 10 seconds we need to wait. And it will be closed. But what will happen, guys, if, for example, I don't find for example, this. For example, my test will fail. For example, this will fail my test. What's happening, guys? Assert, when assert not passing, it's throwing exception. What does mean throwing exception? It means that program after this part not continuing anymore. It's stopping here. As soon as we catch it an assert, it is a wrong assert, it will throw an exception. Do you remember that? Throwing exception, it's mean our test will stop at this point. And my browser will never close. Let's run. I want to show you. Test is fails. I kind of trying to wait for 10 seconds that it's kind of will close a page, but it will never happen because my code will never come to this point. It's never come to this point driver close because an exception happens. And by the way, I don't want to catch this exception. And worst thing, guys, for the Windows machines, if I will even close manually this browser window, I will have a driver in my memory still running. You see, if I will see, this is Chrome driver is still running in my memory, and this is bad. because after some times it will not allow to run new copy, and you need to restart your computer or kill like I'm killing now, like manually kill. It's not good idea. I need to close browser. So how I can do if my test is fail, but I need to close it? So in that case, TestNG giving us possibility, and this possibility we calling before method and after method. Let me introduce it. So here is a test, and I can split my test to different parts. So first is a before method. Before method, and before method is just regular function like public void startup. So it will be running before my test. And here is, I want to move some functionality to here. Actually, I want to move this arrange part to here. Okay, I will leave, for example, driver here, because it will be still an arrange part. But problem, guys, here is I created a driver, and here is a different driver, because actually this is a function and this is a function. And I defined WebDriver in this function, but it's not visible in these functions. What you will advise me to do, guys? I need your advice. I want to this driver be seen here and here. What I can do? Yes, Anna? No.
We can extend it?
No, no, we don't need. Not static, a class variable. So I will move a WebDriver like I will make a field. WebDriver driver. That's all. Or it will be private. You remember this private WebDriver driver. So this variable is visible in every method in the class. Okay. So if it's visible, I don't need to define it's over here. So in before method, I will run and initialize it by Chrome driver. By the way, guys, do you understand what is here? Any ideas? So idea is next. WebDriver is an interface, and Chrome driver is a class which implements interface WebDriver. Why? Because you will be asked on interview. You could be asked on interview, what is a WebDriver? WebDriver is an interface, and Chrome driver is a class which implements WebDriver interface. Let me prove you. So click Control or Command and on the Chrome driver. This is a class Chrome driver which extends remote driver and implements this interface. This, and this. But let's open a remote driver, a superclass for the Chrome driver. Let's open it. And remote driver is a class which implements interface WebDriver and other. So these allow us to write this stuff. Where is it? One sec. These allow us to write this stuff. WebDriver, it's name of the interface which implemented in Chrome driver, is equal to new Chrome driver. Do you remember we making a list and in the right side array list? So here is the same. WebDriver is an interface and Chrome driver implements this interface. Let's see what we have in the interface WebDriver. So in the interface WebDriver we have get method. Here is get method, Method get opening an URL. Good, legit. Also we have a find elements and find element and find elements. So here is driver find element. So this method is described in the WebDriver, and in the Chrome driver we have implementation, but in the WebDriver this is an abstract function. Okay, abstract function find web element, find element which returns web element, and we passing in some variable class by XPath. Do you remember this guy? Yes. Also we have like close and quit. I'm using this over here, driver close, because this close implemented in Chrome driver, but it's described in the WebDriver. Also we have like other stuff. Maybe we will go through all this stuff, but you see?
I have a question.
Yes.
So why do we use the Chrome driver? Why we don't use WebDriver right away? Why don't
Because
we define driver new equals new WebDriver?
you kind of miss something. We cannot create object of interfaces. We can create objects of the class. But when we defining, we writing, we will come initially. When we have a multiple browsers, we will use, because this is Chrome driver is for the Chrome driver. And if I will open this Chrome driver, I have a methods which implements all these interfaces, like Chrome driver. What else? Web storage, session location, set location, touch screen, and this is Chrome driver. Chrome driver, public class Chrome driver. And here is we have some methods like close all implementation, maybe in remote driver. Do we have? Yes, in the remote driver we have all these implementations. Okay, whatever, it's not very important. More important that you should understand that WebDriver is an interface. Chrome driver is the object of the class. Okay? Anna, don't forget to mute yourself if you have no more questions. Good. So let's go and understand other things. Okay. Idea. So I have a WebDriver, a class level variable, and in BeforeMethod I initializing it by Chrome driver. Okay. Also I will define an AfterMethod. Tear down. So this tear down will have only two this line of the code. It will tear down. So let me make back it to the 5 seconds, and I will place this to here. Okay, our test come more and more like all only about testing. Open page, open, find search field, place Java, click enter, wait for 2 seconds. Here is find this web element and assert that text in this web element is equal to explore Java consoles. Now, since I moved this close driver to the AfterMethod, guys, what will happen if this test will fail? This test will fail. Yes, it will fail now. the after method will run anyway, and it will close the browser. You see, our test failed, but browser is closed because after method will run in any case. A test failed, test passed. In both cases we will run after method, because I think that after method is in the finally block. We don't see here, but I think maybe after method is about final block, because we will run it in any case. Okay, so guys, test will pass or test will fail. After method will be run it, and we will correctly kill our driver by running the close command. So guys, if I have many tests, before method will be run before every test, and after method will run after every test. So algorithm: before method, test, after method. Next, before method, test, after method. So I don't need to write it many times. So let me, for example, I have a different test, and here is I will assert a 10,000 result. Here is I searching like explore Java course. And here is a different method which will have, and here is I need a different CSS selector. I believe it will be H1 selector, and here is I will have a text like I will have this test with words. So let me run this test. You see, start up, after that test running, it's on the second page, and now tear down, it's closing. Okay, let me run two tests together. I will click to this button which will run both tests. Look, first is start up, now test running, now tear down, test passed. Now running start up again, Udemy test, and tear down. So guys, idea: I have two tests, but before every test it will be before method run it. After every test, after method will be run it. Is it clear?
Yes.
All this stuff is done by TestNG library. So TestNG library making testing much easier. We making test in the separate chunks of the code. We just marking this function a test, and we can run it separately without all this main static create objects. Why? We just marking it as a text and running it. Also, TestNG allow us to create after. We can run some codes before every method and after every method. Not depends is test fail or pass it, after method will be run it. This is very important. So this is about testing. In the end of the course we will spend more time with TestNG to understand how it's working, because it's very important. Okay. Guys, let's do a small break, and after that we will continue with CSS selectors, and we'll understand. Now we will like fully work with CSS selector, and I will explain how it's working. So small pause, stop, and I will make a pause, one sec, in my video recording. Okay, so CSS selectors. Again, idea. Let me open my www stuff and let me open my HTML file. So idea, guys, in 95% of the cases, not in 90, you could find a web element using a pair of attribute and its value. Attribute and its value. Attribute and its value. It works both for the CSS selector and for the XPath. Attribute and value. So this will work in 95%, and let me show. In the Udemy site, you will use it like very often. F12, and let's try to locate something. And here is in F12, Ctrl F to search. This search field will appear. So let me find something. For example, this web element. I will show you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this searching glass. Here is Arial label submit search. So let's try to do that. Area label submit search. Area label submit search. Incorrect. Okay, and here is you would see how many elements were found. 1 of 2. Because I believe we have 2 elements, like 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Okay, but anyway we found it. Submit search. If you see that way little bit different. We're completely the same. This element completely the same. Okay. Later on, CSS selector not so powerful like XPath, and actually they couldn't define do we need first or second element. CSS selectors kinda not working. So if they need to give a style, they giving style to all elements, like who has this CSS selector. So okay, but we defined this element. So what else we can find? So again, idea, square brackets, attribute, and attribute value. Okay, legit. And yesterday somebody posted very good link on W3 School, and here is. So this is a reference. It's very good, and if you need ID, you're using hashtag. If you're using class, you're using dot. But more important is things like that. Target and this. So this is search by partial text. You see that attribute contains only text partial. For example, in our case, submit search, I can do something like partial. So I will place a tilde over here on the left side, and here is I will not full submit search, I just submit from the capital letter, and I will still have 2 elements. So if no tilde, I will not get anything, because I need to pass exact string I have. And sometimes this string could be very long. But if you do a tilde, it means you can pass partial text or text which contains this element. So this is much easier. You see, it's find the same 2 elements, but kind of a little bit shorter. This one. So we have other things like this. Like this find begins with HTTP. So I believe this should work over here. So if I will change tilde to this, it will work, because it's finding from submit. It's starting from submit. But container is more flexible. It kind of doesn't matter. It could be in the beginning, in the end. So tilde is more preferable here. And I just showing what's really important. All this stuff like use cases you can find later on when you really need it. Okay. Here it is. Okay. So here is. So what's the difference? Here is button, and here is inside button. So no difference between this and this. Yes, no difference. Div and this inside div. Okay, no difference between these 2 elements. So idea, this is most usable pattern to search. It's search by attribute, and the value is the first, like most useful way to find elements. It's search by attribute and value. Of course, yesterday I showed you different other patterns, like when we enter Java and I need to find these 10,000, I made search by the h1 tag, and it's kind of found, you see. But okay, here is h1, because we have only by tag name. I don't need to pass like dot or hashtag, or because when we making search by h1, we making search by tag, like in my test. Where is it? When I made a search in this file, in the second, I made search by the tag CSS h1, and it's fine because the only one element is the tag h1. Okay, first rule is the pair of the attribute and its value. Second is by partial, when we using tilde. This is 2 most useful way. We have one more pattern, but it's not applicable for the CSS selector. It's more applicable for XPath. And let me show you some XPath patterns. XPath are more synthetic way to find element. If CSS selector a native, it's a native for the DOM. XPath not. Native, what does mean native? Browser can search by itself without like any synthetic sugar. But XPath a little bit synthetic sugar. It's like not natural way to find element. Okay, XPaths. What's the difference? First of all, XPaths could be absolute and like relative. Okay, do you remember our www page? Here is. If I will open, it's in browser. You see, you remember this. So let me open me F12 and Control F to search. So, for example, I want to locate this element, yes, or this element, for example. So what is XPath to this web element? Absolute XPath. It's starting with a single slash, and after that it will be HTML. It's a top tag. This one, top tag HTML. It's kinda after that it will be second, who is the child, is the body. Body is the next tag. And after that next tag is image. So img, and when I click on it, it will highlight my picture. Again, highlighted. Absolute XPath. Nobody using absolute XPath because it's kinda, you can, but it's not good way. It's the worst way, I would say. If you trying to find element using absolute XPath, let's pretend you need to find a cherry on the cherry tree. So you do something like start from the ground level, found the this, go to this branch, go to this branch, go to this branch, go to this branch, and finally you will find the cherry. This is not good path for the HTML way. So second way is relative XPath, when we finding a path related to something. For okay, example, you need to go to the casino New York in the Las Vegas. So absolute XPath, it's like Google Map will write for you. Starting point, your home, finishing point, and it will draw you a path to this casino from your home. This is absolute path. It's starting from your location. But let's pretend you have a relative path. So idea, it will be kinda when you will come to Las Vegas, it doesn't matter how you will get to Las Vegas, by plane, by car, or whatever. When you will come to Las Vegas and will go to, like, I believe it's Boulevard or whatever, and you will see New York. So kinda a building with, like, it looks like Manhattan. This is a casino New York. So this is a relative path, relative XPath. It's not depends on how you get from your current location. It depends when you will come into the Las Vegas, find a building which look like that. This is a relative XPath. Why it's better? Because, for example, if something happens on your way to Las Vegas, when you will come to your way to Las Vegas, like it's COVID situation or whatever, you don't depend on this path from your location. Kinda it doesn't matter how you will get. This is idea. But let me show you on this example. Relative XPath. It's starting usually with double slashes. And if you want to show for example, this image, you just placing, in our case, like img tag. So you find an image, just placing image tag. But this is very simple. Let's go to Udemy site and let's find this h1 if it would be XPath. It's very easy. Like I do just double slashes in front, and that's all. One element from one is fine. So this is kind of difference between XPath and CSS. You just mostly using a double slash in the first, in front. For example, in this test, here is, guys, h1, if it would be XPath, you will place just double slashes in front of h1. This is, for the text, is very simple, just placing double. But what we will do in that case when you have attribute and attribute value, how to switch? Very simple. First you placing, changing CSS selector to XPath, and here is you placing add symbol. So here is admin for the attribute, and this is also you need to place a double slash, and you need kind of provide a tag name, but you can place a star. Star is kind of wildcard for any, but let me show you like from the beginning. XPath. So for the relative XPath, let me little bit increase the size and let me do like that. So for the relative XPath formula is next. When we locating exact element is double slash. After that you providing a tag name like image, or for example, let me provide this element. Let me find it, this element. Yes. For example, this is a this one. Yes. Div. And here is in the div I should provide a class, and here is a class name. Class and equal to class name. This is an XPath. Very simple. Very simple. You just placing a attribute and attribute value. But guys, you don't need to provide a div. Why? Because if you want to see how many divs we have here, we have 648 divs on this page. So kind of divs not helps us to define anything here, because div is most used tag in the HTML now. So I can place a wildcard, a star, and I placing this. So this allow me to show exact element. So here is found two element with this tag, login and sign up. Login and sign up. I have two elements. And XPath more powerful. If I want to choose login button, I placing this in the parentheses, and here is in the square brackets I placing one. One is the index. And indexes in the XPath starting from the 1, not from 0. Maybe it's the only case in the all programming when index is starting from 1. Usually in programming index is starting from 0, but for the XPath it's starting from 1. A little bit bizarre, but it is what it is. Okay, index start. If I want to place a second button, show second button, it will be 2. So guys, pattern for the XPath. Pattern number 1 is a pair of attributes and its value. Pattern number 2 is a contains. So you see, this is a dynamic part, it's a random part, it's changing every time you loading page. But if I want to have a consistent result, I know that this part is never changing. This part is always changes. 7k is kind of random stuff. So if I want to use it continuously and stable, I'm using a contains method. Contains. And in the contains, I passing 2 arguments. First, where in the class attribute. Second is what. What I'm looking for is this guy, because this guy is stable part, and I need to close parentheses. So here is, guys, take a look to the syntax. Contains. This is second pattern. First pattern is attribute and its value. Second pattern is contains. So when I using a contains method and I passing 2 argument, where I looking for and what I looking for. I looking for this text. Okay. And third pattern is by text. So login. You see login. It contains a text login. So if I want to find by text, CSS can do that. I do search like that. Take a look. A double slash, a star, a square brackets. And here is I placing a text function. Text function, it's mean I have parentheses and equals to log in and close. So I find this element by text login. Okay, 1. And where is login span? Where is it, this element? Maybe, I don't know. Where is it? Maybe in the bottom. Maybe it's invisible. I don't know. Where is it? Okay, where is it? It's somewhere. So, okay, guys, by text. CSS cannot make search by text inside, but XPath can. So I looking for the element by inner text. You see, I can search by this login text inside. This is third pattern. 3 main patterns: by pair attribute and its value, second by contains, and third by text. These 3 patterns will cover 99% of your using of XPath. So 99% of the cases when you're using XPath, it will be covered by these 3 patterns. Okay, first pattern is by, okay, for this button is by attribute and its value. Okay, this one, I found this element 1 from 1. This is first attribute and value. Second by partial text, like tilde in CSS, but we can do like partial by partial. For example, I can do something like contains and I passing 2 elements, data purpose and header login, and I could remove, for example, header by login, and it will be found because contains searching by partial. By partial, not by full. I can pass only some parts. And third is by text. So in that case, we can use a function text. Also, I can use and text is equal to log in. And text is equal to log in, and I can't find anything. Why? Because I don't know why. It should find, but it don't want. Okay, by text. It's finding 2. And here is I can do something and data purpose is equal to because this is in different text. This is in this tag and this is in this tag. Okay, so if I am looking in this text, it's a little bit different. Okay, login is in different web element, so it's not working together. Header login. I cannot use these two together, but in other cases I can chain it. So questions, guys, for the XPath. On the next lesson, we will continue work with the XPath, and I will show you more advanced way to search elements using XPath. For now, any questions?
Did they ask you for like interviews? Did they ask you like, can you give me the XPath here or something like that?
Yes, they could ask. I've been asked about like find this element. Write XPath for this.
Oh, okay.
And guys, I very strongly recommend you never use this way to find web element. Like right click on the inspect on the web element, like on this, like inspect, and here is you writing something like copy XPath. This is the worst way. Why this is a worst way? It's kind of finding XPath, but this is very, very relative. So actually it's finding a body. This is a body tag. From the body tag, it's giving you a path, like find second div, after that find first div, inside first div find second div, inside second div find fifth div, and inside fifth div find a. This is the worst you can do. Why? Because it's very long path. It will be any changes in design, and for example, we move some elements, your XPath will die immediately. In my way, when I finding element, I finding element by itself. It's not related on any parent or grandparent. You see, no relations. I finding element, but not his father or grandfather or whatever. I finding element exact. But if you will use something like this, inspect, and here is you will find like copy XPath, this is the worst way to find element. You see, it's very relate on many different things. Actually, you finding this element, and after that you finding its grandson. This is the worst way, because if some changes in design, your XPath not working anymore. That's why you need you must find the web element but not his relatives, because they depends. In that case, it depends on many different conditions, but when you finding by this way, you finding element which not depends on other elements. This is the main thing. More questions? Guys, for your homework idea, on this Udemy page, please everybody find 10 web elements. Just make a practice for yourself using CSS, using XPath. I cannot check if you find it or not, guys, but I don't need this. You need this. Please don't cheat on that. If you will not practice, if you will not do exercise, it's not bad for me, it's bad for you. So please don't cheat on that. Find 10 web elements. Find this button. How to find? Okay, this button. So area label next. Okay, area label is equal to next. That's all. But there are 9 elements found, but you need find first one. Okay, find the first one. Good, you found first element. You found 1 from 1, and this is good result. Okay, this is not that finding by index, but it's okay. At least you need to do this practice. Find 10 elements. Try to use both CSS and XPath. The bad thing, CSS not working by the bestseller text you couldn't find. But if you like do some kind of by text, I'll show you by text. Like by bestseller, can I find like text? Text is a method, that's why I use parentheses. Is bestseller. Yes, I did find, and there are 9 bestsellers on this page. You see? Bestseller, 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 9. But if you want to locate like first one, go ahead and find first one. Here it is. I can see it because maybe it's upstairs. Okay, or not? Oh, here is located 1 from 1. Okay, guys, any questions so far? Guys, it will be not result if you will not practice. So find 10 elements. I believe this inside to just remember. If you want, find 20, but finding web elements is not a rocket science. It's like very simple. Do it.
How good is it finding locators using XPath elements? Because if the design like changes the element number, like index number might change too, right?
Yes, index number might change it. So using index. Okay, so guys, when your web element relates on things like parents or indexes is not good. But sometimes there are no other way to find. So if there are no other way, you have no choice. But if you have a minimum like way to like make this finding this locator more isolate, it's better. Find more isolate cases. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Luba. Luba, I can hear you. Okay. Guys, if there are no questions, let me wrap up. And what you should do, I will push now the code we did with the testing stuff. Like commit. Java. Guys, I strongly recommend you not read for now third-party stuff, because it could make a mess in your head. So for now, for your homework today, 3 patterns of XPath: by attribute and its value, by contains, and by text. Use these 3. If you will read more for now, it's not good. It will be mess in your heads. I don't want, and I believe you don't want. So don't need to read extra. Use these 3 patterns for now. Later on I will show you something different. But these 3 patterns, trust me, will cover 99% of your cases when you're searching for XPath. Okay? So guys, let me wrap up. I will stop recording and see you Monday. Please do your homework and like finish your old assignments on the object-oriented programming. Bye bye.